Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the PIXAR Journey. I am Lord X, and I love Pixar movies. And today on episode 5, we are going back to the year 2001 with Monsters, Inc. And what can I say right off the bat other than the fact that this movie holds up so well. So very, very well. John Goodman is an absolute delight. Yeah. This was one of those first Pixar movies where it's like, you know, with Toy Story, they had something special going on. But when Monsters, Inc. rolled around, it's like, oh, these guys are onto something really good. They got some really creative people here. Because when you're growing up and a kid, you always think that there's a monster under the bed or in your closet, stuff like that. And yeah, they take that and they turn it into such a beautiful film showing that laughter is more powerful than fear, essentially. That's the baseline of this movie. Laughter is more powerful than fear. And yeah, it's very well told. The fact that the monster world is actually afraid of the human world. At the beginning, like anytime they don't get in contact, they think humans are contagious and can kill them. But they're not. They're just normal. It's great. It's great. I don't really know how much more to say about this movie. Story basically, you got Sully and Mike, the top scarers, and you have Randall, who's a very good villain. He's like this chameleon type monster. He tries to, cheat the system a bit to get up his scare score higher, and in doing so, Sully accidentally brings a human into the monster world. They try to get her back. Things ensue. They get kicked out. They come back, they fight their way through. I am no good at describing plots of movies, as you can easily tell by this. And I feel like this is going to be a very short one here as well, as I'm actually recording this while I'm waiting for dinner to cook, so I may have to jump into this anytime soon. So yeah, they try to get her back. Randall kind of stops that. Big fight scene, which is I love like the end quote unquote fight scene in this movie where they're jumping through doors, trying to reach the kid, Boo, her door to get back to her room. But yeah, it's just so well done. It's very clever. Like all the little scenes you see France, you see a tropical setting, which is probably Hawaii or Jamaica. Mount Fuji is there at one point. And then, of course, there's references to the previous Pixar movies. In that we see near the end of the movie, we see a Jessie doll. Boo has a Jessie doll in her room. She also has the yellow ball with the red star onto it, which Andy had as well in his room. So there's that. Randall eventually gets booted into a door, and that door is shattered, so he can't come back. And where does he end up? He ends up in that trailer that we see in A Bug's Life, where the big bug city is located. That's where he ends up. So that's your big callback reference there to A Bug's Life, showing that yeah, these movies are connected. And I'm not going to get into the Pixar theory here, but you can look that up. It's very interesting to take a look at. So that's our one big reference back to A Bug's Life. But also in this movie, we get a reference to a future Pixar movie. Actually, it's the one coming up next, and that's Finding Nemo. As another one of the things in Boo's room is a clownfish that looks exactly like Nemo. And that's pretty much it. It's a very sweet ending. At the very end of the movie, the spider boss gets taken away, and Sully ends up taking over the monster factory, and they're now producing laughs instead of scares. And Mike surprises Sully with a gift. When they sent Boo back to her room, her door got shredded afterwards into 1,000 million little wood pieces. Mike had put the door back together and allowed Sully to see Boo one last time. The very last thing you hear in the movie, or see in the movie, is him opening up the door. You get the shot of him there standing in the door frame, and you hear Kitty saying that, hey, they're reunited once more. Very sweet ending. So now with that, folks said, my little chat about the movie, very poorly chatted, scatterbrained thought is all I can think of is the food that awaits me within 13 or so minutes when it's done. Food on the brain, so I can't really focus on plotting of the movie. Besides, there's more movies to watch. In fact, this is number 5 of 22, so. With that said, let's get to the rankings. So right now on the rankings, we have at number 1, Onward. Number 2, Toy Story 2. Number 3, Toy Story. Number 4, A Bug's Life. So where do we rank Monsters, Inc.? Now this movie is very, very good, and rewatching it again for the first time in quite a long time now, I kind of forgot how good this movie really is and how sweet and awesome. That's simply it. It's an awesome movie. So, first question is it better than A Bug's Life? Yes. Yes, it is. So, automatically, A Bug's Life down to number 5. Monsters, Inc. in at number 4. Now, is Monsters, Inc. better than Toy Story? Yes. Absolutely. Yes, I believe it is it's not a far better movie, but it is a better movie than Toy Story. Now, is it better than Toy Story 2? Last time when we discussed the rankings, I really love Toy Story. I think it's a fantastic movie. Oh, and one thing I never mentioned here about Monsters, Inc., like the animation style here, the fur on Sully is incredible. Like, looking back at when this was made back in 2001, no, probably 1999 to 2000 they were working on this one. The fact that they got the fur looking that good is very impressive, and watching it now in 4K is like, yeah, it's very cool to see. So, is Monsters, Inc. better than Toy Story 2? First off, I think it has a far better villain than Toy Story 2 did. Obviously, the animation's better, but that should not be a really big factor anyway. The story between the two of them, between Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story 2. I think Toy Story 2 has a very, sweet story to it. I think Monsters, Inc. has like a better overarching story to it. Like I said at the beginning, that laughter and joy is more powerful than fear. I think that is a far better message into the mix. And rewatching Monsters, Inc. here, it's like, yeah, I think I'd go back to Monsters, Inc. before I go back to Toy Story 2. So, that said, Monsters, Inc. coming in now at number 2, and Toy Story 2 moved down to number 3. Now, is Monsters, Inc. better than Pixar's latest movie, Onward, that we ranked in the last episode? Well, no. I honestly don't think it is. I think Onward's story is far more heartfelt, and got to me a lot more than this one did. We're not going to count in animation here because it's far too different. The story and the world building of Onward, I think, is still more better, and honestly, I think a little bit of bias from me. I prefer the world that was built within Onward more than Monsters, Inc. So, I'm keeping Monsters, Inc. at number 2. So the rankings now are number 1, Onward. Number 2, Monsters Inc. Number 3, Toy Story 2. Number 4, Toy Story. And number 5, A Bug's Life. So thank you folks so much for tuning in once again to hear me ramble on about a Pixar movie and where I would rank it within all of the Pixar movies. Next time we meet, we'll be watching Finding Nemo. Or I'll be watching Finding Nemo and you'll be hearing me talk about it next time. You know what I mean. You know how this series goes by now. So until then, I've been Lord X. You have been awesome. And thank you for joining me on the Pixar Journey. Till we meet again.